students, to fall on your sword. He fell on his sword. Okay, this is an idiom. It means to take responsibility, to take full responsibility for a bad situation. And it's very possible that you're not to blame, but you have decided to take the responsibility. During the corruption investigation, the chief financial officer of the company fell on his sword to protect the other members of the board. So he said, I'm responsible. I'm the one who did this, who was corrupt, and nobody else was corrupt, and it's all my fault. And then he probably resigned as well. Okay, this is the idea of falling on your sword, is taking the full responsibility for a nasty, illegal, criminal, corrupt situation, and letting your co-conspirators escape without punishment. He knows he's not to blame, but he's going to fall on his sword for the sake of the others. They're his friends. The literal meaning of to fall on your sword is to commit suicide by placing your sword upwards in a fixed position and then falling on it. Let's see, in some ancient societies, maybe the Romans, if the commanders or the commander lost a battle, he might fall on his sword, he might commit suicide, because at least like that, he is able to retain some semblance of honor. Okay, so he's saving his own honor. So the literal meaning to fall on your sword is to commit suicide, but we're using it figuratively. Very often nowadays, falling on your sword involves resigning from an important post. Very often you are going to be pressurized by the people around you to do so. Yeah, but notice, this has to be voluntary. You have to decide to do it. Let's see, the other members of the company can make it look like you did it, but unless you put your hands up and say, it was me, I did it, then it's not falling on your sword. That would be the company throwing you to the wolves, or maybe throwing somebody under a bus. The problem is, very often a company or a society can make it so difficult for someone not to fall on their sword that it's just a better thing to do. Fall on your sword and take the blame, because the repercussions are going to be less serious. So I think whenever there's a scandal and there are a group of people involved, they're always looking for a scapegoat to fall on his sword or to fall on her sword. Yeah, so to fall on your sword, one person takes responsibility and everyone else gets away with the wrongdoing. I think falling on your sword is probably becoming less common nowadays. And looking for a scapegoat is more common, or finding someone to throw under the bus. People and companies are always looking for ways to avoid responsibility, to avoid the blame. Yeah? So, let's see, yeah. Mea culpa, mea culpa. And like that, everyone else gets off scot-free. So to fall on your sword, to take the blame for a situation solely and uniquely, or one or two people could fall on their swords, so that the rest of the group is unpunished. Now, what about formality? I think this phrase, I'd probably give it a 5 informality. Normally idioms are pretty informal, but I think you could use this one in any informal conversation. I think you could even use it in a semi-formal writing. You might just get away with it in a very formal writing, but I think it's probably better to use a phrase like to take full responsibility for, to accept the culpability or something like that. So, to fall on your sword, to resign from your job and say the person responsible for this cock-up, for this mess, was me. And then we have various shades of falling on your sword where people pressurize you into doing it. The company says, well, look, we will let you keep your pension if you fall on your sword. And this slowly towards throwing somebody under a bus or throwing them to the wolves, where the company says it was his fault, even if he's not going to fall on his sword. So there you go. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. To fall on one's sword, to fall on your sword.